Welcome back to the CAA Men's Basketball Insider, where it's always great to be joined by one of the most knowledgeable voices in the sport, John Fanta. Now, John, I've been doing some research today, always dangerous, but I want to start by sharing it with you. So as we talk on Tuesday, there are only 12 teams in all of Division I basketball that are on winning streaks of at least 7 games, and 3 of them, Towson, UNCW, and Campbell, compete in the CAA. Now, as someone who covers this sport on a national scale, how difficult is it to have sustained success like that at this point in the season? And when you're tired and banged up, and tell me the keys for each of these teams to maintain that momentum as we head towards March.
Well, terrific to be with you, Rob. It is not easy at all. And if it were, would be that way. But it is hard, especially in the Coastal Athletic Association, which every single night, I don't care who you're playing, whether you're UNCW at Drexel in a double overtime thriller, or you're Charleston or a Campbell going up against North Carolina A&T recently, A&T has fought their tails off. This league is tough. It is competitive. The high nature competition of it every night is so much fun. And I think when you look at it, Towson, right, UNCW, and Campbell, they've all done it on the defensive end of the floor. They have 3 of the top 5 defenses in the league. Campbell, to win 7 in a row, they are doing it at an elite rate defensively, leading the league in scoring defense during conference play, allowing just about 62 points per game, 57 in home games on average, leading the conference in turnover margin. And I think that Nolan Dorsey does so much for them defensively. He's the head of the snake. He locks down people. Of course, losing Jason Sinani, they have to navigate that. But Kobe Dugan's been tremendous. He's an all-CAA first-team selection, in my opinion. What else does it take nationally to be able to go on a winning streak? You got to be able to win close games. You do. I mean, nationally right now, Akron's got a long winning streak. Creighton, St. John's does as well. They're 10 in a row. They've executed down the stretch. So have those UNCW Seahawks. UNCW knows how to execute down the stretch, Rob. They're right there nationally with all these teams. And when you look at what they've packaged together in the recent weeks, having won 8 in a row, they're clutch. Greedy Williams goes coast to coast for a game winner in Philadelphia. A tough one for the Dragons to take, although they showed their promise in a win over William & Mary. But I just think that speaks to Takeo Siddle's team on the road. They go on the road. You're facing a very hard game at Drexel, who's desperate to make a statement. Sean Moore delivers 23 points and 15 rebounds. You know what else winning streaks take? Experience. Sean Moore's been part of an NCAA tournament FDU team that shocked the world and beat Purdue. What does that mean, Rob? They play fearlessly. Sean Moore plays fearlessly. And then there's Towson. If you're going to go on a winning streak, you better be consistently tough. That's what Towson is. They are tough to a T. They have a couple of studs in Tyler Tejada and Dylan Williamson. And the Tigers are consistent in the most important thing that statistics don't even fully account for, playing hard. They never waver in that column, and it's led them to an amazing 10-game winning streak.
Great stuff, John. Great stuff. And it is amazing for the consistent success that all 3 of those programs have had, again, especially at this time of year. Now, Drexel and Northeastern are among a tight group of teams in the middle of the pack in the CAA, but both got outstanding individual performances from backcourt players who could be key to their fortunes down the stretch. The Dragons' Jason Drake averaged 23 points and 7 assists in games with William & Mary and UNCW. The Huskies' Rashad King averaged 30 points and 5.5 rebounds against Hofstra and Hampton. What do those 2 bring to their respective teams?
Well, Deuce Drake is bringing a playmaking piece that's very important for Drexel. You see, with this Dragons team, again, another team that defends at a high level. And they've got a stretch here of Hampton, William & Mary, and Delaware that is manageable for them. They've got to be able to pull through and fight, but they're in any game because of their defense. For me, Kobe McGee and Yame Butler are a really dynamic duo. They're both averaging over 14 points per game. But Rob, you got to have an orchestrator. Somebody's got to be a maestro of the group. Jason Drake, be that guy for Drexel, and is that guy right now for this team. He's delivering in a variety of ways. He's playing with confidence. Coach Spiker is giving him the keys, and he's using them, and he's driving the car really well in this offense. So I really like Jason Drake. I love he's playing, to me, the scoring piece is important. Now, for him to be able to average 23 points this past week per game, we knew about the assist piece, but if he proves to be a dynamic scorer, watch out. And then Rashad King, who I believe deserves to be in the CAA Player of the mix. Rashad is a bucket. He gets even a window of space, and he's going to score it. And when you combine a tremendous scorer with Bill Cohen drawing stuff up for him, results are going to be strong. And as of late, for Rashad King, they've been terrific. And that's big for the Huskies. Yeah, I think that this Northeastern team has a dark horse personality to them in this league because, Rob, do you want to play a guy who could go for 30 in a conference tournament game in Washington, D.C.? The answer is no. Now, this league's got a couple of them. No question about it. But I do think Northeastern's dangerous. Now, they fall to Hampton this past weekend. Hampton with a nice performance and a good win for Coach Thomas, who I think is growing day by day. But beforehand, they had gone to Hofstra, and they pull out a win on Long Island, 77-68, in which King he was tremendous. He didn't miss a free throw. He doesn't miss free throws. And I think L.A. Pratt and Harold Woods, their confidence goes up when King is that good. So the Huskies are dangerous in this league because when they walk in the gym, they could say, we have Rashad King and you don't, and look out. Now for Northeastern, they're 5-7 in the league. Rob, the next 3 are at home. It's time for the Huskies to make some hay.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see this over this last 3 weeks, which teams sort of emerge from this big group in the middle of the pack before tournament time. Now let's dive into the week ahead, where one of the CAA's biggest rivalries is renewed on Thursday at Trask Coliseum with UNCW hosting Charleston. John, why do these teams always seem to deliver high-energy, entertaining games, and what do you see coming out on Thursday?
Well, what I'm seeing is a rematch that means unfinished business if you're Charleston. Because although they've been dealt a tough injury hand, let's face it, they lost by 2 at home to the Sox. They want revenge. Trask Coliseum on Thursday night will be as electric as any atmosphere you see in college basketball. It will be phenomenal. UNCW, so tough. Donovan Newby, Bo Montgomery, the mix of players, what Greedy Williams does for them. Now, they've got a group that really just makes them go in a variety of ways. And I think now if you're Charleston, you want to take it back at them. Takeo Siddle is 3-1 in games at Charleston. That's quite a record to have. Now can Chris Mack's team answer the bell? And if they're going to answer the bell, it's got to be Ante Berzovic controlling the interior. It's got to be C.J. Fulton having the ball on a string. Those two things are paramount. And then it's got to be Darian Boyd. Darian Boyd has to hit big threes. He's got to step up and make those shots, those silencers that you need on the road. If you're going to win a rivalry game on the road, you need silencing shots. This will be a battle. It will be physical. It will be one on toughness. These two teams, they are rivals. All right? They don't love each other. They support one another in the league that they're in, which is a great league, but there's no love lost when the ball gets tipped off. And Rob, rivalries are good for sports, and this is a tremendous rivalry in the Coastal Athletic Association, and I will have my popcorn. I will have a beverage Thursday night, because when I look at the talent, elite guard play, right? A physicality battle inside. Two coaches who I think are phenomenal, Siddle and Mack. Mack, NCAA tournaments 9 and 12 years as a coach. Takeo Siddle, he's got it coming at UNCW. It's only a matter of time till he's leading them to that big dance floor. I love this game. I love this rivalry. I can't wait.
John, outstanding stuff as always. Can't wait for the weekend ahead as the CAA race comes to a close. Fans, as always, make sure you follow us at CAA Basketball and on all of our social media, and we'll see you again next week.